I think I can. Hello, do you hear me?
No.
Turn it on.
Do you hear me now?
Yes.
Perfect. Hello, everyone. I'm just going to quickly sit through all the presentation in 1 minute, and then the rest is going to be just demoing what we are building. My name is Amir, and I love building things. I have started building Unbody since 2018 as a side project, and last February, together with my friend, we turned it into a little startup based in Rotterdam. And today I'm going to talk about what we are solving and how we are solving it. Is this supposed to work?
That's for the music, I think.
No, it's all right. Okay, so quickly, the context is that we are seeing that the AI first is becoming kind of the new mobile first. It's becoming a standard in every little website or app. It's expected AI features, semantic search, generative search, as Lucas was also saying. It can be, a lot of problems can be solved, but we don't see much of those problems happening. Why? Because of the one reason, and the complexity. But before doing that, I want to explain, let's see what the fuck is the AI native app, what we mean when we talk about AI and applications or AI in websites. In Unbody, we break down these into three particular concepts or pillars. One is personalization, second context awareness, and the other one proactive interaction. The personalization can happen when we have access to data, when you can personalize it for a particular set of data, and that can be in different formats, structured data or unstructured data, a PDF file or an audio file or a lot of records on your database. The second part is the context. Context also matters, and an AI native app should be aware of the context. And context is nothing than all the data that we create and produce on a daily basis on various platforms, scattered around the platforms and places in various forms and formats. And the third is basically the new shift in the mental model of the user experience. We are no longer looking for information. We are looking for answers. We are not going to go around and click around, find a particular answer. We just want to ask a question and get the answer back from the computer. We can start a dialogue with computers since ChatGPT came around. And that means that, so we need a software or an application that understands human language, but also be able to speak the human language. So these three parts, let's put them together, and let's assume you want to make a quick chatbot. The problem is the complexity. AI is complex. This is a simple diagram, like a simple chatbot you want to make on top of your PDF on Google Drive. You need to put together 10 different frameworks, a lot of complexity, and that's assume we are not going to build our own LLMs, right? This is just put together tool chains to make one particular application. This makes it super complicated. This is the diagram, the flow of a RAG, retrieval augmented generation pipeline. This is a very typical one. A lot of processes, 8 to 9 different steps involved. In Unbody, we simplify this into one particular plug-in and play solution. How it works basically, we tell Unbody where your data is. Then you set up your AI stack. You say, okay, I want to use this model on Hugging Face or OpenAI, let's say, or a model from Gemini, or etc. And then once you have this done, Unbody processes them all and then gives you a GraphQL endpoint or a TypeScript SDK that you can start building with it. And today we are going to basically see what it can do. Let's start with going to Unbody website. And then there is a button here, you can click dashboard. So you can start by creating a project. A project is basically where your data is scoped to. Like you have a tenant, isolated data is one project. One project, let's say ML6, right? And then here you can select from the presets. You say, okay, I want to mainly have search functionalities. You can select from either our self-hosted models or from OpenAI, Cohere, and from each of these you can select different variations, or generative features, or you can go with use cases. But I assume there are a lot of people in this room that knows a lot about AI, so let's go with the advanced stuff. You can set up your own text vectorizer. You can select, okay, either you use contextual, which is pretty old, or one of the transformers we have via self-hosting, or you can go, for example, with OpenAI, and then you choose, okay, text embedding large tree, or Cohere, for example, multilingual, etc. And also same for image vectorizer, because we are going to make a multimodal RAG. Q&A modules, there are a couple of, so this is really like fine-tuned to have as minimum hallucination as possible. There are two of them, or you can have also the typical generative on top of that. That would be, again, from 3 providers, Mistral, OpenAI, and Cohere. We haven't had the self-hosting model for this, but soon will be added. You can also have some content enhancement modules by default enabled or disabled, auto-captioning of the images, auto-transcription of videos and audios comes by default, you don't need to set it up, automatic, and by the way, you can use that without any, and we don't have a rate limit, as long as you can. Automatic summarization, automatic keyword extraction, etc., and a bit of a utility like re-rankers, spell checks, etc. Let's create the project. Now you can start adding sources, right? We have various sources, Google Drive to Discord messages, GitHub, etc. And we keep adding to it. Soon the local folders will be also added. Let's go with Google Drive, and the next step is to connect it. So here I'm connecting to, I'm allowing Unbody to access those files. Once you have done that, if I go here, and you can see this is, I have a My Drive, Shared Drive, and my computer. Under Shared Drive, there is an Unbody Drive. So if I go back to this screen, you see it's automatically get listed. So from My Drive or Unbody Drive, doesn't matter. You select a folder or the entire drive. That's the entry point. That's where the data is supposed to come to Unbody. So let's select one folder, demo 1, and you press initialize. At this moment, Unbody goes and index and process all the files. From this on, any changes you make simultaneously being processed by Unbody, so you don't need to ever come back here. Once this initialization is done, you basically get a project done. And I have to save time, I have this project already connected to 2 GitHub repository, 1 Discord channel, and 1 Google Drive. To just give you also a bit of a context, in this Google Drive I have various files, from a video or another video about Tarantino, a couple of Markdown file about Unbody, and then another 2 articles about Quentin Tarantino. Each of them can contain multiple images, text, etc. Another one, Tarantino with Diego Maradona. By the way, I generate all of these, so I don't know what's going on, but and 2 about electric cars. I'm going to use this folder and the other GitHub repositories for the demo. So the first demo would be, let's go with the semantic search, right? Like pretty straightforward. And everyone knows what a semantic search is. So if I say here instead of Tarantino, I can say a movie director, right? And then search. And the first 2 top is going to be Tarantino. Or I can then again select between different things, and for example here I can say in Discord TypeScript. And this is pretty basic stuff, right? Nothing serious. No results fine because there is no TypeScript there. But now let's move on to the generative part. The generative part is cool one. So here I can say, for example, let me say TypeScript, and then here we can, one second. For example, we can say, explain how where method works, right? And no results. Why? Because we are using our Google Docs. In Google Docs, we're using for general purpose material. It doesn't know about TypeScript line. But as soon as I change this to our GitHub repositories, for example, GitHub command, and then ask it, then it's going to find the answer and it's going to generate the particular answer for that with the examples and so on. So you can do basically all of this together. You can chain all the sources together. Another example I want to show you is Hello World. This is, I have a messy desktop, like thousands of files, a lot of things that you also had them, a lot of screenshots, a lot of invoices that I have no idea what's going on. So yesterday, I was just sitting at home, so I thought, okay, and because we just released the image captioning yesterday, so I built this demo quickly with Unbody. So I hooked all my data into Google Drive, and now process it with Unbody. So here, I can, for example, ask, let's start with something simple. For example, we can say find your icon, right? The first one is find your icon. Or you can say, for example, the meme about London trip, or flying to London. Because I was giving a talk at London a few weeks ago, and then I made this meme actually to go there, so you understand. So, and then if we remove, for example, the meme and entire like this sort of, then search for it, then it finds my probably boarding pass. So now I can also start extracting information because it already knows it. Another cool thing you can say, for example, dark theme UI. And it shows all the dark theme UI. Or you can also say, for example, marketing slide from Unbody presentation. I think I have one marketing slide. 1 second. Yeah, it's one of these. This is the first one. There is a bit of, this is still without re-ranking any fine-tuning, right? This is just right out of the box. And now I can actually also do a bit of generative stuff. So for example, I can say, oh, this is also a cool or fun evening at Irish pub. And that's the only photo that it finds, because that's exactly where we were. And now let's move on to another example when we can start asking questions. For example, we can ask, what was the presentation at MongoDB about? So this is a talk I gave the other week at MongoDB, and let's see if it can find the answers based on only screenshots that I have, right? So here you go. The presentation at MongoDB was about what is an AI native app by Unbody featuring Clever in MongoDB. Again, this is no text material, no PDF, only screenshots. Imagine hooking all the other data to it. And we are going to make a quick example, and we have a workshop in almost 10 days, how we make that. But now let's move on to the coolest part, which is the code. You all seen the complexity, right? And this is basically the entire code you need to make one search. Or let's make it a bit more complicated here. This is the entire code you need by Unbody to make a RAG pipeline entirely. Image block, select this particular field, search about the query, limit the top 2 results, generate by grouping all these results together, do this task, upload based on these properties, and done. You have the answers in very, very faster also way than any particular API out there. We build this to make it easy for mainly people outside the AI realm, right? You know, because most of us here, we know AI. We have a lot of, you have a lot of knowledge in AI, but the problem is that there are like 80%, 90% of developers out there that they are not AI engineers. They are front-end developers, iOS developers, Kotlin developers, and they don't know this complexity. And that's one of the reasons we have a huge gap between how AI is advancing in terms of technology and science and how the real-world applications comes. Because those developers, they don't have access, they don't have the tool set, they don't know what vector database is, they have no idea what re-ranking is. Trust me, they are senior developers and they don't know it. And they don't need to know. So that's why we built Unbody, to simplify this process. I'm thinking if I have, oh yeah, so again, just to show you, so as soon as, for example, you click here, you can see image block, Google Doc, text block, text document, direct Discord messages, GitHub command, video files, audio files, etc., etc. So all these processes can be applied on top of any type of file. You can chain them together with just few lines of code. Actually, technically, this is just one line of code in JavaScript. I don't know how you call it in Python or other languages, but this is just a chain of command. But yeah, so this was my talk. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm sorry, I rushed it.
Is there a reason why in the UI you make it so that you make me select which source something came from?
No, that was because these are just the use cases we make for a developer community we have to simplify it. But you can of course chain them all together,
right?
And combine them. This is just for the sake of like clarity.
Gotcha.
Yes.